Oh, hello and welcome back. Thank you so much for clicking on my video. In today's video, we're going to do what we always do. Smoke our opponent in a 10-minute rapid game. And I'm going to show you how to play chess, and I'm going to learn a little bit. You're going to learn a little bit. We are facing a 2000 on the dot, and I am 1898. So hopefully this can be a video of how to not get scared of high-rated opponents and absolutely destroy them. So we're going straight into the bishop's opening. First things first, we always check. Where are they from? Armenia. He's bad at bullet, he's okay at blitz, he's great at rapid. So what we want to do is keep an equal position and go towards the end game where hopefully he slips up the end game. So we just kind of want to, the chances of me getting huge winning chances right off the bat are slim to none. So what we're going to do is just try and keep an equal playable position and then just keep things going. And then hopefully once we get to a little bit lower on the clock, we'll be able to seek the advantage. Okay. So this right here is something that you're going to see in pretty much every game. Okay, so we're going to lose the light square bishop. That's cool. We were trying to avoid this pin. Now we're going to lose the light square bishop. And like a good chess boy, he doesn't actually take. He can do that whenever he so chooses. And so my options are basically as follows. I need to develop my last minor piece. I can go to all these squares. Sorry, these ones. What's the best one? We're gonna go here because this pin is not actually a pin. It's basically just asking to be moved. Now the problem is if I push this pawn, he will then feel so inclined to capture and ruin my pawn structure like this. So we're just gonna move my queen up a tad bit and see what happens. He's gonna capture here at some point. You know, I'm not convinced that was a good move. We're going to go ahead and just pin that, and hopefully we'll scoot around. If he pushes this pawn, it's greatly weakening his king, so I'm quite happy about that. Now he chooses because he didn't know what to do over here. He's deciding, should I push this pawn or not? And this capture was going to happen one way or another. And so what's he thinking next? One other thing that we need to be a little bit cognizant of is this sacrifice, removing the defender of this knight. Because right now only this pawn is defending the knight. And so if there's a situation where maybe his queen is attacking this sacrifice is something you always you got to be a little weary of. Okay, so he does decide to attack. We're going to scoot back. We also have a little luft for my bishop. And this is always a good idea to push one of these pawns generally. So you have a place to go. We're going to scoot back. His knight's going to go here, and then we're just going to capture. And basically, we're going to absolutely get attacked. Because right now, he's probably going to take with this pawn so that he has basically 4 pawns pushing towards my king. The thing that's really nice about this position for me is our kings are on the same side. So a pawn storm on this side of the board is going to be a little bit dulled down by the fact that he also has a king on this side of the board. I'm sensing that this knight is never really going to get into the action over here, so I'm thinking just bring this knight. Try and bring one more piece to the party over here. What's the game plan? He also has this pawn break. So I feel as if there's going to be a lot of tension on the king side of the board, so he's going for a pawn break in my best interest. If he takes back, this suddenly becomes weak. We're just going to go for it. Let's just not spend a million years. We're up 30 seconds on the clock. I think this is still a more or less equal position. One thing you're going to find in many rapid games of just any game of chess is in the opening, there's just a multitude of good moves that you can make. And so basically anything you do is going to be still equal. If I do this, it kind of allows his rook to get into the party, but I'm just not scared. Oh, his rook can't come in. My knight's defending that. So he's going to take back with his pawn. This guy is super weak, so I'm thinking maybe we scoot the queen up like this. Maybe we really grip down this square. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not 100% sure what to do. You know what? We're going to go here. And in some positions, I can take, and the queen is not defended. And I might just like vacate, I was vacating the file for my queen. So probably what we'll see is like a developmental move of this bishop. I'll probably put a rook onto the open file. And I'm still sensing that this is a completely equal position. I mean, it's hard to say. My king I feel like is safer, but his prospects for attacking are far greater than mine. He also has the pawn breaks in the position. This is my pawn break, but I don't really have it because it just hangs this pawn. So this pawn is very, very important. He could even like scoot back. Okay. Okay. Makes sense. I probably want to get this knight involved. So vacating the square for my rook to come over here. So the question is, which rook? I feel like the king side of the board, this whole side of the board is where all the action is going to happen. So I think I'm just going to bring my rook into the party. We're still kind of waiting for this developmental bishop move. It definitely needs to happen. And he has the bishop pair. So actually he might have a slight advantage over me. The only thing that's favoring me is not really a closed position because the pawns haven't really been advanced. Okay, so this is just an immediate threat on this. There's really two ways that I can defend that. Scoot up or scoot over. Or push. And if captures, captures. And then this is defended. No, I can't push because it's just this. Okay, so what's the better move? Up or over? I feel like over gives me options to bring the knight. We're going to scoot over. The reason for that is I have a place to put my knight. So if something crazy, like we really get attacked on this side of the board, I can quite quickly move my knight here, push this pawn, bring my rook over here, or even bring my other knight, and then I've got my king nice and safe. But somehow I'm getting attacked. I started with the white pieces, and it is absolutely our opponent here who's applying the pressure to us. And so our friend from Armenia is not joking around. And the complete queen side of the board is just dead. Okay, so he makes like kind of a waiting move. This rook is straight up doing nothing. So we're going to scoot up. I don't see any immediate threats or anything, so we're just going to try and make like a slight improving move. If I can double my rooks, then, I mean, there's really no way into the position. And look at these bishops. Look at these bishops just eyeing my entire position right here. And I'm not even sure, like, once I double the rooks, what am I going to do? All of the important squares are covered by the bishops, so I really have no infiltration. Like, it's just not going to happen. Okay, that move, like, needed to happen. And if I rush into this end game, where boom, 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 even his queen could take, we're just going to do it. Straight up, we're just going to do it. Maintain an equal position. Maybe this isn't how everybody wants to play chess. Maybe you want to be like a super powerful attacking player. But sometimes the way you win is just like make moves. Just like easy moves. So again, we have a checkmate threat. If I scoot over, he could sacrifice, but then I take, and then this rook is defended. So I think we're going to just scoot on over. This is now hanging, per se. Oof. We hang a pawn in the middle of the board. Excellent. Excellent form. Now, what do we do about that? Well, I'm not going to lie to you. I am a little bit dry on ideas. We can just go for a queen trade. I don't think that that's going to favor me in any type way, being down the bishop pair and down a pawn. So let's see. I really don't know what to do here. And I don't think that there's any sacrifice in the position. And I'm slowly slipping away on time. So we're going to just scoot over. Probably he just goes back. But now he's got a pawn. And he can move the queen and push this pawn. And then he's just going to be in my position. And so... I mean, I just take, right? I just take. I don't think that that made any sense. Am I stupid? If I take... This is defended by the queen. We're just going to take it. Not even going to think too much. And he hangs the queen. Okay. Correct. I don't know what that was. He was applying the pressure. Absolutely, he was applying the pressure. And unfortunately, it's me calling the shots now. And so what we're going to do is rook into the position. We're attacking this pawn. We're attacking this rook. I can also throw in this check first because we don't really want to see this pawn push. So let's just throw in the check. I mean, I've got a queen. If the king scoots this way, we just trade off the rooks. And so now I'm just going to show you how to convert a completely winning position. Is there anything that I need to be really, really scared of? Rook into the position. He kind of has to scoot back. Sorry about that. And then I'm just going to grab this pawn or grab this pawn. And then he blundered, completely blundered. Well, the dude is not very good at blitz and bullet. So I think that's kind of what happened. He just rushed into it. Whatever he calculated here, like he just didn't see that the queen is defending this knight. So like I mentioned earlier, you can remove the defender of the knight, but I had a second defender. So it's defended twice. So that whole idea just did not work for our opponent. And so there we go. I beat a 2000. So now I have regained my ELO. I am now 1900 again. So this is my second time being 1900, or actually my third. I got 1900 lost, and here we are again. But now that was plus 11 because I beat quite a high rated opponent, and so now I'm quite high. So definitely there was he was the one applying the pressure. So let's just check this out with the computer and see how I could have defended that position better. All right, I'll see you over there. And here we are in the analysis, and I'm not quite sure what to think about that game. I'm just happy to be back at 1900. It kind of more or less was an equal game. Then he was applying pressure, and I had a losing position, and then just a catastrophic debacle where he just loses the queen for no reason. I don't know how a rated 2000 player can do that, but it is what it is. I played 90% accurate, 2 mistakes, 1 inaccuracy. One of them is not really too big of a mistake in my opinion, and then 4 inaccuracies, 4 inaccuracies, and 2 blunders by our opponent. 71% accurate. That is not good against a 90% accurate game. And so the game itself was completely even. And so in this position right here, just one thing that you need to know, if you ever, I don't know what type of openings you guys play, but if you play this opening, this is something that you need to be aware of. So you need to play d3, because if you don't play d3 and you develop the knight, they have this sacrifice, you take back, and then there's this fork. And then you scoop back, he takes, you take, and then all of a sudden it's just in a completely equal position, but your pieces, it's just not good for you, okay? That's all you got to know. So you don't want to ever go into that. It's just not good. So when the knight comes out, you have to play d3. This defends the pawn in the center, but the bad thing about it is then this move just becomes super, super quick to grab your light square bishop. It's a completely even position, so there's no need to be really scared about it. Only after we defend the pawn in the center with d3, then we can play knight f3, okay? They castle, we castle, he pushes, I push my pawn to prevent this pin, although this did open up some sacrificial ideas over here where he can lose his queen for no reason. We scoot back. Then the other thing is this situation of grabbing my light square bishop is not going anywhere anytime soon. So the appropriate thing to do is like prep the push in the center. He's like, you know, prepping this, and then he's going to have 2 pawns in the center. So this is a great understanding of the position. Like, there's no need to grab this. A lot of beginner players would go ahead and grab this right away. But what he's really hoping for is I push here, then he captures, then I have to capture back with this pawn. And capturing with this pawn and having this pawn structure is way worse than capturing this way and having this pawn structure, okay? Because I would get the open A file, and I would be capturing towards the center. So if I push, capture, and capture this way, this becomes weak. This isn't the greatest open file for my rook. So those are all of the reasons why we're just making moves. Now here, I think he didn't really know what he wanted to do. Did he want to push this pawn? So he just cashed out on this capture. Excellent move by our opponent. Then this is one of my inaccuracies. I can take here, he takes back, and then I capture. And I basically sacrifice the knight for 2 pawns. I weaken his king, and I have a lot of ideas of getting in. The reason I didn't go for that is the dark square bishop is inside the pawn chain. So he can just break the pin immediately. So what you generally want to do is sacrifice, take back here. The pin is active, and then you bring your queen to apply pressure, and he has to defend with the king, and then you figure out a way to just apply pressure to the pinned piece. The reason I didn't go for that is because if I capture, like, boom, 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 there's no pin. So and there's no easy way to get my queen in here without making a couple moves. And so the computer's saying that it's good because I just get rid of these 2 pawns and now I have attacking chances. The reason I didn't go for it is because I'm never going to win the pinned piece. And so hard to say from a human standpoint to ever make that sacrifice. The only time you ever want to make it is, say, the pawn is here, he develops the bishop, and then he pushes the pawn, and the dark square bishop is trapped outside of the pawn chain, okay? So, like, there's pawn here and the bishop here, and he can no longer come back to break the pin. Okay. And so we scoot back here, we take, and so what I was supposed to do is just break in the center. Why did I make a knight move to prep this? It was already prepped. I've got it defended with 2 pieces. It did not need to be defended by another piece, so that move didn't really make a lot of sense. Then we go for the pawn break, but I'm a step behind. It's still a completely even position. I go here, and then I have a slightly losing position. But what I'm supposed to do here that I completely missed is there's this attack is definitely the thing on the board. This rook and this bishop is going to take my pawn, and if the bishop takes my pawn, then the rook comes in here with check, and then I just lose the game. What I was supposed to do is be complete Mr. Stockfish and just completely disregard that attack. I'm supposed to take here. If he takes back with the queen, I grab this, and we just allow this. Is what it's supposed to say? Yeah, I just allow this, jump in with this crazy check where he captures back with something, but that opened up the line for my queen. Was I ever going to calculate any of that? No, there's not a chance. We sacrifice the knight, he takes back, I get the rook, he gets the pawn. I then sacrifice another knight so that I can see the bishop and get rid of all of it. Really, really hard to see. So that was my inaccuracy. I don't hate it for not seeing that. We're shuffling around. I'm not sure what to do here. I guess this would have made a lot of sense. I can attack the queen and also defend this. Okay, but I'm still losing, so all of it's losing. He just grabs my pawn. We double the rooks, and he goes for this sacrifice to grab this. He removes the defender. Of course, he removed one of the defenders, but he just hangs. And he's just cooked. Absolutely cooked. I did this because, I mean, this pawn push is a little scary. This is defended, so you might as well just check. And then this pawn push attacking my queen is no longer an option. So I played it a little bit slow. And then after this move, he resigns because he's completely cooked. Completely cooked. The best computer line is to just give up the bishop. And what you're supposed to do is go over here. But it's never going to work. It's never going to work. So say you go here. I just grab the bishop, even if it's not the best computer line. You go here. But then I could bring my dude over. And if you capture, I capture back with the knight. And you're completely cooked. There's just absolutely nothing you can do. I'm just coming in. Check. Checkmate. I'm up a queen and a knight. So that's how you beat high-rated opponents. Don't panic and just wait for them to blunder. Everybody blunders, even 2000s. So wasn't the best tactical game out of everything. It kind of was just decided by a one-move blunder. But either way, thank you so much for watching. I know that was a very short video, but you guys are the best. I'll see you next time.